You had a week off. Welcome to the show. Come in and show us a little bit of love. Come in and show us a little bit of love. Look, we about to get started in literally 1 minute. All right. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Another edition of Tuesday Talk. We do this every Tuesday. Thanks for the hearts. Thanks for the heart. We appreciate it. Thanks for the love. Thanks everybody. We're gonna jump right in because you made us late. So
come on. I'll get you after the show. Go ahead.
All right. So welcome to Tuesday Talk. My name is Reggie Reg, also known as Live to Contribute. Los Angeles in the house. What's up, Los Angeles?
What's up?
Thanks for joining the show. If this is your first time, we appreciate it. My name is Reggie Reg, also known as Live to Contribute. I have my co-host with me,
Lola Pearl.
And on the phone every week, I have K. Mitch all the way in from Florida. What up, K. Mitch?
Hey, everybody. K. Mitch is in the building.
Thank y'all for joining. All right. So, thanks for joining the show. We do this show every week, every Tuesday at 8 p.m. The show is called Tuesday Talk. The reason that we do this show is pretty much so we can have an open forum, pretty much that we can talk about issues that affect us in life, issues that affect us in communities, issues just affect us overall, everyday issues. Right. We bring it to the show. We talk about it, and we need your support. Make sure you join in, engage. The platform does not work if you don't engage with your comments and let us know what you think and how you feel. And we read the comments and then we go from there. The reason that we talk is because we think talking is life-changing. It can be profound. It can be therapeutic. Exactly. So pretty much that's what we do. And this is called Tuesday Talk. If you're new to Periscope or if this is your first time joining, thank y'all for joining. You can tap anywhere on the screen to give us hearts. We appreciate the hearts. We appreciate the love. Share the broadcast with your Twitter followers. Share it with your Facebook friends and share it on Periscope. Invite others to join. All right. So the topic for tonight. Y'all ready?
I always say this, but
it is a heavy topic.
Heavy.
The topic for tonight is the war on forgiveness. You know, forgiveness is a big thing.
It really is.
It's a thing that people struggle with often in life. So we felt, why not talk about it? So I'm going to open it up just like every other week. And I'll ask you, Lola, I'll ask you, K. Mitch, and I'll ask you all out there, make sure you join in. So is forgiveness really such a hard thing?
You know what? For me now, as I got older, it's hard for me. I don't know why. I can't really explain why. But it's harder for me now.
It's harder for you to forgive.
Now, yeah. I think because when I was younger, I used to forgive, but now it's like, I'm not going to let you to continue to hurt me and forgive you for that. Like, no.
So Taria T said
not.
Yes, it is for her too. K. Mitch, what you think? K. Mitch, what you thinking out there?
I think that I've always been, me, I've always been quick to forgive someone. And I think that I'm still a very forgiving person. I do not forget, but I'm very quick to forgive still because I feel like that. I mean, I forgive everybody for everything. I'm just going to sum it up. Wow. I don't mind forgiving in a heartbeat, but I don't forget.
Okay, so K. Mitch, you kind of opened the door, and I was going to introduce this question or ask this question later in the show. I think a lot of people feel like, K. Mitch, I can forgive you, but I'm not going to forget it. Yeah. So let me ask, Kay, we've talked about this before, just in a sidebar conversation, and maybe me and you too, Lola, I don't know for sure, but can you truly forgive without forgetting? Because I don't necessarily...
I think you can.
And what do you think, Lola?
Nah, I'm always... remember that, but
you're gonna always remember.
You can forgive. I mean, you just.
For me, you gonna always think about that.
Now I may.
You gonna always think about. I know for me, you gonna always think about that in the back of your head. Like, I remember when you did that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
This is my thing, though. I don't know if that's true forgiveness. So let me give like kind of an analogy. Okay, so let's say you cut yourself, and you have this cut, you have this wound. It starts to heal, and you forget all about the cut. You forget that you were wounded until, like, let's say you're doing something that, like, with a lemon or something, and then there's a burn there because the cut hasn't fully healed yet. You didn't notice, or you didn't remember the cut. You didn't remember the wound until something forced you to remember. So I think, me personally, I think that you can forget it, and you only should remember it unless when someone forces you to remember it. I think other than that, you should drop it if you choose to forgive them. Now, I think that if you chose to...
There it is. I agree.
I think that if you chose to forgive someone, then what they did should not be an issue anymore, because I don't think that's true forgiveness. Like I said, when you have a wound on you and you're hurting, unless you start hurting again, then you forget about the wound. So why do we carry burdens and we carry all this stuff in unforgiveness when we said that we've forgiven the person?
I think it depends on if that person constantly keep hurting you, and then you never get a chance to forgive it.
Well, that's what I said. I don't think that you should remember or that you should keep it in the back of your mind. Because let me tell you what I think happens when you keep stuff in the back of your mind. It's almost like you're holding it for a certain moment. Like, I'm not going to forget it. I remember you did that to me. So it's almost like I'm carrying this baggage with me, and then that opens up other doors. So let's say we're talking in a relationship and we're talking about unforgiveness. A guy or a woman, they did whatever. And every time I bring that up, did you truly forgive me? Because I don't think that you did. If every time that's your ammunition, you've never gotten past that. And what happens is that when you go in unforgiveness, I think it opens the door for so much other stuff. I think it causes like a cancer almost, and it's bitterness, and it grows. So like we're talking about, like the example of relationship, you didn't forgive the person, you're not with them no more, but then in your next relationship, you can't move forward because you're holding on to what the other person gives to you. So when you're holding unforgiveness and you haven't let go of stuff, I just don't think that you can move forward.
Well, that don't go for me. Like, I don't take that over into the next relationship.
That's true. But what about, because this is my thing, but I agree with everything you just said. That's absolutely true. You know, me and you have always had conversations about that, right? That point right there. But what about the times when they keep,
I know what you're trying to say, K. Mitch.
That's my point. Oh my God.
So
I feel so stupid right now. My brain just froze. I put it on.
So you said.
This is so ridiculous. Oh my God.
So you said.
I'm so embarrassed right now. I really just.
Well, Lola brought up that.
Okay. I think what I was trying to say was that when people do things and then so you get smarter because so don't necessarily mean because you remember what they did. That you haven't forgiven them. It's just that now you made smarter because now you're paying attention to them more, or now you're realizing how they are. So now you may watch stuff.
Exactly.
But it doesn't mean that you don't forgive them as well, because now your eyes kind of, your eyebrows kind of arch, your eyebrows raised. I mean, does that mean now that you give them, or
I don't think that well, that's what I was saying. I think that if they force you to remember, then that's a totally different thing. Like Angel H said, Angel H just made a comment. She said if you forgive someone, then it's not an issue anymore, like when it happens, because you've let that go already. And then you got someone else out there saying the same thing that you all said: you forgive, but you don't forget. But I just don't think that you can. One happens without the other. And I don't mean to go like, this is not a religious show or anything like that. But I'm just gonna use the example of, okay, so we sin every day, and we all of us believe in God on the phone. Right. All of us believe in God. For the most part. Yeah. Well, not for the most part.
We do, but everybody else there probably don't. We don't. But go ahead.
I'm talking about me, you, and Kay, because we talk all the time. All three of us believe in God.
Right.
So, what I'm saying is, so let's just use this as an example. And most people believe in some higher form. It don't have to be what we believe in. Right. But normally, when you believe in a higher form, there's a forgiveness. There's some type of forgiveness. And when you ask for forgiveness, is erased. Like, so isn't that what we're supposed to be like when we're talking about forgiving? Yeah. So that's why I always say, like, in people who go to church, people on the church on here who go to church or believe in God and saying you forgive or you don't forget. But we mess up all the time. Isn't it just human error to make mistakes? So why is it such a hard thing for us to move past the mistake? That's what we do. We're human. So why can't we just let it go and move past it?
Like I said, for me, when I was younger, I used to forgive, let it go, move forward, don't let it bother me. But now, as I got older, and then if it keep happening, it's like I'm getting tired of it. Like I'm getting tired of getting hurt. let me just let that go. Like,
So, but can you forgive and let go?
you can't. Yeah.
So when do you stop forgiving? Is there a point where you say I'm not going to forgive you anymore? Kay, you out there, you said like we were talking about, it may keep happening again.
Mm-hmm.
Lola, you were saying it may keep happening again. So do you get to a point of I'm tired of forgiving? That's it.
I mean, I'm human. Yeah, I do.
I think that we all have got to that point before with somebody in our lives.
Exactly.
I think that me personally, I would never stop forgiving you, but I will get to the point where I may have to let you go, like pretty much free you out of my life, because I may feel like that, we just on the same page and we just not meshing. So sometimes I may have to feel like I have to let you go. That doesn't mean that I don't forgive you or I'm upset with you. It may just mean I just feel like that you're just not meant to be in my life no more. But I forgive you. I'm going over my life and I'm not holding any grudges. I'm not upset.
And
I'm gone.
Some people get mad like when you let them go and cut them off and you don't talk to them, they think that you're mad, like you don't forgive them. Yeah, I'll forgive you, but that don't mean I have to keep you in my life.
Exactly.
hold that, because I'm going to come right back to that. Because Tarichi says that it's hard for her to keep forgiving when they keep doing the same thing.
Exactly.
So I think the issue that a lot of people have with forgiving is that the person is doing the same thing. Now you're saying that I've forgiven you, but I've removed you from my life.
Exactly.
So I'm gonna wrap the two together. So if I've forgiven you, how do I know it? Like, let's say the person is me. How do I know that you've forgiven me? Like, is there closure? Do we talk about it and then you remove me from my life?
Or
do you just...
Yeah, I think you would know because I'm not mistreating you. I'm not cussing you out. I'm not fighting you. I can even be cordial with you. I can be civil with you and I see you whatever it may be. But what I'm saying is, I'm not going to be close to you no more.
Right.
Pretty much I'm going to cut that.
So you cut the ties, and that's fine because I think you can't outgrow some people. I think that sometimes people's seasons are up, and that's fine. But I think most times when people cut people off, they cut them off, and then the other person don't know. So is there closure there?
Sometimes it don't be closure, but I think that it's good to have closure. Therefore, the person won't be like in the dark, like what happened. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's what I'm saying.
I agree. I think it's healthy on both ends to have closure.
I mean, tell me something. Why you ain't talking? Tell me something.
Right, because I need that too. But because when people cut people off, because like I said, people cut people off because they haven't forgiven them. Then they'll cut them off, and then there's no closure there, and then people take that as unforgiveness.
Right.
But this is what I want to know, though.
It's good to cut somebody off and don't tell them why, though.
I mean, if you ask me, I would tell you why.
If
you ask me, I tell you why. Like, I don't talk to you.
She said you good for that?
Yeah, I'm good for that. Which I do agree with that.
Emily is good for that, honey. She will cut you off and go about her business like ain't nothing happened.
That's true. But I mean, I'm the type of person, if you ask me why you not talking to me, I'll tell you. And then I'll go on back about my business. So, I mean, it's the same thing.
So this is what I'm thinking, though, or I think my issue with the forgiveness is that, okay, so this is what I want to ask. Why is it we can forgive this person 1,000,000 times, and then the moment that this person does something, that one time, like, I'm just so hurt, I can't move on. So do we pick and choose, like, how many times a person get? Do we pick and choose, like, how many times I'm going to forgive this person?
I think that you view everybody differently.
Mm-hmm.
So this person get to mess up 1,000,000 times.
Reggie, and I'm going to give you an example, because I'll probably be hurt faster if you did something to me versus, somebody else who I'm not as close to. And I probably won't forgive you as fast as I forgive them because I expect more from you. So sometimes you like I said, it's how you view the person too.
So you think that forgiveness is based on the person?
The person, right?
Versus.
I try to forgive everybody, but like I said though, I think it kind of depends on the person.
Because it seems like, because that's a little unfair to me. Like, I mean, I know what Kay's saying. Like I said, we've talked about forgiveness a 1,000,000 times. And Angel H out there said that it shouldn't be based on the person.
Right, it shouldn't be.
But is that what you think that most people are doing? Because this is what I'm saying. And this is what I understand. Because then you'll have people in relationships guy or girl, and that person will drag them through the mud, and they keep taking them back over and over and over again. And then you have, and supposedly they love that person, and you know that person is supposed to show them love and the utmost respect. But then you have a friend who come along, and because they didn't tell them one thing or they lied about one thing, that they can't go on with their relationship. So why is it fair to that friend? That's why I'm asking, do we put, or are we as people, we're putting a stigma on, or we're pretty much saying that I'm going to forgive you this much, but I'm going to forgive that person that much. Like, is that unfair to the person? And why do we do that as people? Because is this the problem?
I feel like you just spoke to me, because honestly, that's true. That's exactly what, you know, women love to, you know, take they, look, don't get me started. But, you know, women love to, you know, take the guy back and, you know, over and over again, they're supposed to forgive him, but yet, you know, they friend to make one mistake and they cut her off, so it's not right. But like I said, that goes to me, like, I feel like I don't really trust dudes, and so I personally think, I mean, I care more about my friends, so I feel like they owe me a little bit more. I mean, it shouldn't be this way, guys. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's okay. This is your thinking. I'm just telling you what, you know, how I think, and I just feel like that I personally hold my friends to a more higher level than my own dude, and so, you know, I don't want to say too much more because I don't want to look stupid on here. So,
no, you're not looking stupid. I don't think you're looking stupid at all, Kay. Because
you just expect more from certain people.
I think
it shouldn't be like that, but you just do.
Because I think you're being very real, King Mitch. I don't think you're being sounding stupid or being stupid. I think there's so many people out here, and the reason that I bring it up is because you do it, I do it, Lola do it. I'm saying we put a pretty much. We put forgiveness, we judge it by the person, and that's what I'm saying. That's not okay. So we're not giving it, or we're not doing it on a fair ground, and then it becomes unfair to the person. And like I said, if I'm on the opposite end of it, then I'm like, man, like I didn't even do that much to you, or I didn't think that it was that deep. Like, can't you just forgive me? But then if I'm the person who's going through it, then it's like I expected so much more of you. And that's where things become hard at, and that's why I wanted to talk about the issue, because I think if we just pretty much look at forgiveness as a universal thing and we take the person out of it and we really just focus on the forgiveness part of it. Like I said, the reason I even wanted to talk about forgiveness tonight, period, is because I think forgiveness is for the person, not for the person who did something to you. It's for you personally, and that's what people don't understand. So when I'm holding unforgiveness in my heart, or I have unforgiveness, then I can't be a real friend to the next person because I'm worried about what that person did to me. Like, I can't. I'm going in guarded. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm remembering what the last person did to me, so I'm always guarded, and that's why I wanted to talk about it. Because, like I said, we can forgive this person over here, but it's so hard for us to forgive the other person that we expected a little bit more from.
That's true.
So look, the people out here, you're a little quiet on forgiveness. Are y'all forgiving out there? Like, what do you think about this?
I don't think nobody's forgiving.
Okay, that's all right.
I don't think nobody's forgiving. Nobody said nothing tonight.
I know.
Because you know what? This is such a tough issue for people, because people hold stuff in their heart, and they aren't able to go on, and they're dealing with these things. And like I said, you're wondering why your friendships aren't working. You're wondering why your relationships aren't working, and you're wondering why, you know, things with your kids, think you don't have a great relationship with your kids. All of that stuff leads back to unforgiveness, because if your relationship is not working, it's probably because you're holding on to something that happened in the last relationship, and you're not giving the relationship a true chance because you don't feel you feel a certain way because of what happened the last time. Also, like, you don't have a great relationship with your kids. Maybe your father or your mother did something to you, and now your relationship with your kids, you're holding on to that, and you don't have a true relationship with your kids. You know, you take on this stuff unconsciously because, like I said, when you have unforgiveness in your heart, it takes a root and it spreads, and you know, you don't look at it, or you don't look back to like, oh, that's because I didn't forgive, or that's because that thing happened. But that's really what it's attached to. And unless you like free yourself and you rid yourself of that cancer. Well, that's what I said earlier. I think it's like cancer. And if you don't go in and you don't get all the cancer and you leave some there, then it continues to spread. And that's what I think that people, that's what the issue is out there.
I'm working on it.
I mean, and I'm not saying any of that to say that
No.
I'm the most forgiving person.
We all know that. Look, I know you. Me and Kate Mitch know you. We're not saying that. But personally, I am working on that.
I am forgiving, though. I am forgiving. Let me tell you something.
Look, what? Are you sure?
I'm positive. Let me tell you
Okay,
something.
okay.
I will forgive. I will forgive you. Now, me personally, you can do something to me, and I may not like it, but I'll forgive you. My issue, and Lola, you can attest to this. I say it all the time.
Okay.
You know, we have arguments, and we fall
All the
out.
time.
Exactly. I say this all the time. My issue comes in is when, as your friend or as a person or whatever I may be to you, if I told you I don't like this, if I told you that I'm having a hard time with this, and you've done it before, and you've done it after that, and I've forgiven you that time, and I forgive you again, then in my mind I come to the place of, well, you keep doing it. Now, like, why do you expect me to keep forgiving you about this?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that I shouldn't forgive you, but the pill is a little bit harder to swallow at that point, because
Right.
I feel like Angel says, well, think about if you want God to forgive you, so why you can't forgive someone else.
That's true.
That's a true statement, Angel H. But God was perfect. He was a man of no sin. So
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
we're
hard.
in the flesh. So
It's
what do
hard.
you say to the people who are dealing with flesh every day? It's so easy to say, "Oh, God said this, God said that." That's why I said it's not a religious show.
Right,
and I said
right.
earlier, I made the reference to God as well, because I know that you're supposed to do that. But when you dealing with something and you dealing with real life issues, it's hard. Like you hurt me, and it's on my heart, and now I'm supposed to go on and act like it never happened. That's not an easy
hard.
task.
That's hard. That's
So
hard.
what do you say to those people, Angel H, what do you say to those people who are struggling with, you hurt me? How do you get past that?
The only thing I can say is have a conversation with that person and have that closure, like you said, and move on. That's what I say. Just let it go.
Yeah, just because like I said, I'm big on. I don't feel like that you have to continue, maintain a friendship or a relationship with that person to forgive them. I honestly don't feel that. So I have no problem with forgiving people, and I will forgive you. My forgiveness may take longer for some than others. However, I have no problem with forgiving everyone. I don't know. I was about to say almost everyone, but I'm gonna go ahead and say everyone. I have no problem forgiving everyone. Like I said, some may take a little longer, but I
Right,
do.
right.
And that doesn't mean, though, that I will keep you in my life. That's just, I feel like that
Well, I
not
think
everybody just be in my life.
I think you're right, K. Mitch. I don't think that you have to maintain the relationship to forgive someone. I agree with you 100% on that. I just believe that there has to be a talk, because otherwise things are awkward. You feel like the reconciliation was never there. We don't have to go on and be best friends again, but there has to be something. I felt this way. You did this to me. The reason why we're at this place is because of. Unless you do that point, then I feel like the forgiveness can never get to the place to where it's
But
supposed
what about
to be.
when you have that talk with that person and they still, you don't want to be, you already, it's in your head, you don't want to be friends with them, but what if they still want to maintain that friendship with you? Like, what do you say then?
If they don't want to remain
Angel H.
No, if they do want to remain friends, but you already have it in your mind, like, let's have this talk, have this closure, let me go on my separate way, but they want to remain friends.
well, if they want to remain
Yeah,
friends.
Angel H made a good point. Sometimes you even got to pray for those people. That
You do.
sometimes it's hard to forgive, but sometimes, you have to pray. You have to pray for your, I don't want to say your enemies, but just someone who upset you or hurt you or,
Right.
made you mad. Sometimes you have to pray for them.
You do. And I agree with that. Like, sometimes that's the only way, because you get so upset with a person and you feel like they hurt you to your core that prayer is the only answer. And in response to your question, Lola, me personally, if a person wants to remain friends with me and I feel like I'm done with the situation, I'm done with the situation. We all know me. I'm done with the situation.
Right, me
However,
too. Me too.
However, I will say, you know what, not at this time. I don't feel like this is the season for our friendship. However, I don't want us to go on in bitterness either. So, maybe we can reconcile at a later date. But right now, at this moment, I don't think that's what's best for us. Yeah. And it don't mean that I don't forgive you. I really wholeheartedly, truly forgive you. However, I'm not gonna put myself in a position again. Because you know why I'm like that? Because I feel like that I don't cut people off the first time they do something to me. Like I said before, like if I'm to the point to where I'm cutting you off, I feel like you keep doing what I asked you not to do. You keep doing what I say that I don't believe is great friendship. So once we get to that point, then I feel like then I have a right to say that. You know what? I've told you this before. We've talked about this before. You keep doing it. I'm almost willing to believe that if we remain friends, you're going to do it again. So I have to let the relationship go. And I'm not mad at you. I'm not angry with you. And I'm perfectly fine, with the fact that you did it and I have to forgive you again. But this time, we're going to do it from a distance.
Like I said, I just get tired of the same stuff over and over again. And sometimes you don't even want to talk. It's just like, I don't even want to see you. I'm serious. It's like you get so drained. It's like,
well, you just made a good point. So a comment came up across the screen from ABS Shuts. It said that it's so much energy to remain or to hold the grudge or to remain angry.
Exactly. Good point.
Exactly.
Yes.
And that's a very
me and K. Mitch always talk about it's so much energy to have like to hold a grudge and be angry. It's too much.
This is what I'm saying. Like, because after so long, you're holding this grudge. Do you even remember what you were angry about? You ever been mad at a person so long that you don't even remember what the argument was about no more?
Yeah.
That's how you know it's just really not worth it. Like, and
it's like you did something. I can't remember. You did.
But at that point, why are you still holding on to it is my question. If you're to the point, it's people out there that's to the point they no longer friends with their best friend. They was best friend. They're no longer friends with those people. They're not talking to their mom. They're not talking to their dad. They're not talking to their sister and their brother. And they don't even remember what happened or the reasoning behind it. If you're to that point, that means you have to do some self-evaluation. Because at that point, you need to let some stuff go. And the people that I was talking about earlier that you're just angry and you don't even remember why and it's affecting your current life, those are the people that need to let go of the stuff because you're holding it and it's been spread and you haven't even realized that it's spread. You're literally living with a cancer and you don't know it. You know how like sometimes people have cancer, and I use cancer because it's such a common thing these days. But you know how people have cancer and they don't even know that they have it. Like and it's then before it's too late, it's then spread to the rest of their whole body. That's what unforgiveness is like to me.
Yeah, it is.
Someone said it's draining to you. I didn't catch the last part of that. Part of that statement.
Draining, yeah.
But it is. It's such a draining thing.
Do you remember about 3 years ago when I finally decided to just stop being so defensive all the time and I'm being so angry? And do you remember what I told you? I said it just feels like a weight was lifted off my shoulder. It felt so good. I would never forget it, that turning point in my life, because that feeling I felt, it was so different. And I never realized that all those years that I was just holding grudges and being angry and just being unforgiving and mean, it took so much energy out of me. It was so much, so I think that's why now I'm a very forgiving person, because I don't have time. I don't want to keep pushing. It's too much energy. It's too much.
It is. Well, someone just asked the question, why hold on to something that if it's draining you? And I think K. Mitch just answered the question without even asking it. She just said for years and years and years that she didn't even know that that's what the issue was. She didn't know that she was holding on to that stuff. Right. People go through life and they don't know that they are a certain way. Right. And that's why I say at some point, sometimes you have to do some self-evaluation and realize, because, sometimes people act a certain way and you the one that's going around and not forgiving when you ain't really in a position to be forgiven either. You've been acting a certain way as a friend, or you've been acting a certain way as a son or a daughter, or you've been acting a certain way as a husband or wife. And while you still on your high horse saying that I'm not going to forgive you, you got some things in your own life that you need to be forgiven for. So the nerve of you to act like you ain't did nothing in the situation. You got to remember what you did too. You got to remember the part that you played, and you got to make sure that you took some time. Yeah. Exactly. Self-accountability is huge. Exactly. You got to remember, that this is a two-way street, and I may be acting a certain way because you're acting a certain way, and both of us may need to come to terms of forgiveness. But people don't really realize that when they've been hurt and when they're dealing with issues in life, and then they have a hard time and they get so caught up in their emotions and in their feelings that unforgiveness like comes in and it creeps in, because you remember how you made me feel. But you gotta also look at the other side and kind of think for yourself and try to put yourself in the other person's shoes and ask yourself, well, how did I make that person feel?
And a lot
because
of
that's
it
a fair
like
question.
Misunderstanding.
It is. That's what I said.
Lot of it, yeah.
People mad and people having issues.
And it's like for no reason. It's just always, most of the time, a big misunderstanding. And that's sometimes when you talk, you can reconcile and,
People mad and they don't even know why.
Why they mad?
That's crazy right there. And
it's like why you mad?
You ever met some?
I've been there a few times. I've been there a few times myself, so.
Sometimes I have to ask myself, why I'm mad?
That's what I'm saying.
That don't even make sense.
That's what I'm saying. Like, is it really?
Check myself.
Is it really worth it?
I did. Like, why I'm mad?
That's what I'm saying. Is it even really worth it to
It's
be
not.
holding on to something that can be so detrimental to the rest of your life, to your success, to your livelihood? Like, why hold on to something? Why hold on to something like that?
Because you're not gonna get ahead like that.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So like I said, if you've been hurt to the core, like if you really are carrying this burden on you, like what do you do? Like how do you get to the place of forgiveness? And what is true forgiveness? What does it look like? What do it sound like? What is true forgiveness?
I think true forgiveness is just like if you see this person, you're able to, hey, how you doing? Just have a positive conversation. And,
I think just peace.
Yeah, just peace with self. Yeah.
I think Angel H hit it on the head. What I think true forgiveness is that something can come up, or I can relive a certain situation that may be reminiscent to what you did, and I don't feel anything about it. That's how you know. Yeah. To me, that's how you know that.
That's a good point.
That the forgiveness has truly set in. What you did, it didn't make me feel.
That's true. That's a great point.
That's a great point.
It didn't make me feel any type of way. Like when you did that, it didn't spark an interest. Because like I said, we were talking about wounds earlier. Yeah. Once a wound has truly healed, I can hit this wound again, but I don't feel the pain anymore. Right. Like that's how you know that there's true forgiveness there. Because now, we used the example earlier, like a little salt got in the wound and it still stung because the wound wasn't fully closed. But now when salt touches this healed wound, this wound that represents forgiveness, it doesn't bother it anymore. It doesn't bother. It doesn't make me waver. It doesn't make me flinch. It doesn't make me say ouch. Like you know what I'm saying? Like when you get to that point, that's when I think you really got to the place of forgiveness. And that's why I said, like the people who are saying that they forgiven a person, are you to that point? Have you gotten to the place to where this person can come around and you don't feel any type of way? Have you gotten to the place where a person can say something to you, that person that you don't feel anything about it?
Well, I don't know about you all, but this show is really helping me. Like for real, I'm serious. I'm having a hard time forgiving as I'm getting older.
Like
and it's really helping me.
Well, I thought, like I said, sometimes we do shows.
I'm so thankful for that.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful
that
for
was
that.
like a wake up call.
Sometimes.
Boom.
He said boom.
Real boom.
Because it got to be helping so people out there, like, that's what it's about. Like, it got to be helping some people because, you know what I said, like, everybody deals with unforgiveness.
They do.
Everybody has,
and they don't know how to handle it.
Exactly, and that's what is important to talk about, how to handle the forgiveness. And that's what I said. You got to get to that place
and
to where
you can't pick and choose who you forgive.
You can't do
but
that's what it is, though. That's hard not to do. That's human nature. Because the other piece to that is what was brought up too, is that sometimes you just gotta pray. Like you gotta pray. Like this person that did a lot to me. Like this person, like I'm really going through the trenches with this person. I don't even want to forgive them. You ever been to the place to where you just don't want to forgive them no more? Like
Absolutely.
like sometimes you get to that place that you just don't even want to forgive anymore, and you gotta have a talk with yourself and say, it's not worth it for me. And that's what I said. What I really want people to take away from this broadcast, if they don't take away anything else, is that forgiveness is for you. It's not for the other person. Absolutely. And it's cool if the other person know that they've forgiven you, but you're the one that has to go through life, and you're the one who's carrying this burden around, carrying burdens, especially from years ago, because all of that stuff becomes baggage. So just think you're steady putting stuff on top of stuff
It's gonna
on top
weigh you
of
down
stuff. It
eventually.
weighs you down, and that's where the drainage come in. Yeah, Kay Miss said she was drained because she said, I was holding grudges from years and years, you know, that I didn't know that I was holding. The reason is that because she's holding and not per se, but she's holding a grudge from Lola. She's holding a grudge from Live to Contribute. Maybe she's holding a grudge from her son. All of that is piling up, and it's piling up. And before she know it, now she's drained.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
right.
Like, and she can't go on no more. And this is what really happens, y'all. You know what?
This is real life, yeah.
We holding this stuff and we weighed down and we having a problem with life and life then became too much for us. And guess what? The people that we ain't forgiven, they moved on. They ain't even thinking about us no more. They living life.
And we mad.
And we still mad.
What sense does that make?
That's really like that to me. Like that's
real.
that's mind boggling to me. We sitting over here, we holding on, and you know what? We so hurt, like
Angry for no reason.
They say true is hard to forgive, but the benefits you more to forgive, and that's the truth. Because like I said, we holding on to this, and the person on the street, we see the person on the street, and they living like ain't nothing ever happened before. But we still mad at them though.
We still mad, and it don't make sense.
And that's the hard part, and that's when you have to be like, come on, like they done moved on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I'm mad at them anymore. Why am I holding this?
Right.
Like. They said the devil don't want no one to get this message because the signal is terrible tonight.
Woo! And this is a great show tonight. I think this is one of the best.
The signal is terrible because
wow, really?
Because we're not on Wi-Fi. That's probably why we're in the basement.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why.
Wow.
They say yes it is. Look, I'm sorry, y'all.
No.
I'm just saying, Reggie.
Angel H said the signal is really bad.
Oh man.
They say and that's blurry.
What?
Yeah, I'm really sorry. I'm sorry, y'all.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry that y'all disconnected. You can tell though, because people. That's why the comments are.
Yeah, it's not like a lot of people. That's why I'm like, where's everybody at?
that's why the comments.
Well, we're gonna make it better next week. I promise you. But
look. So what are your thoughts? It's okay. Look, they say it's okay out here.
Oh, okay.
Look, well, we hope you taking some for the message. Like I said, we do this show. Like Lola said, it's benefiting her. It's benefiting me.
Absolutely.
Like, Kay Mitch, I'm sure she's taking something from it. The reason we do this show is so we all can learn from something. Like, there's been great points made. And like I said, we're talking about forgiveness. The reason we're talking about it is because we have to move on in life. Life still goes on. We can't stop at the unforgiveness because, like I said, that's what holds us back. And you know what? When you're worrying about this and when you're still carrying stuff on your heart and you haven't let go of stuff, there's no more room to take stuff in. So if you can't take nothing else in, you have to release something. Like I said, you can't carry a whole baggage and then not release anything because that makes you sick. And it's just like it's just like when you're holding in waste. You know what? You feel some type of way. You feel bloated. You feel sick. So like I said, use that as an analogy for unforgiveness. You're holding all this stuff in and it piles up over the years.
So
now
unhealthy.
You became sick and it's unhealthy for you and you can't go on and you're supposed to be progressing in life and there's big things for you to do out here and you got a lot of stuff.
Holding on to something.
And you got a lot of stuff and you're supposed to be excelling. And when you excel, you elevate, but you can't elevate because your baggage is too heavy. And your baggage is too heavy because you're carrying too much unforgiveness along with you. Right. And that's an issue for people.
Powerful message.
So y'all, that is pretty much the show. Any last thoughts? Any last thoughts on unforgiveness?
I hope this was a really good show. It really, really did help me. I hope anybody received a message from this and they will, start forgiving.
Okay, Mitch, any last thoughts on unforgiveness? Okay, Mitch?
Everybody, just take the time just to, pray for yourself, pray for your families, pray for your loved ones, pray for your enemies, pray for your haters, pray for the ones that hurt you. I mean, pray for everybody and everybody just.
Okay, Mitch, you just said a mouthful right there. Pray for the people.
One another. We all imperfect. You imperfect. They imperfect. God knows this. He forgives us. Just take the time and all to start forgiving one another more.
Amen.
K. Mitch just said it. Pray for the people that hurt you. That's a mouthful right there. That's a hard place to get to, and that's the place that you have to get to. You have to.
That's what I'm seriously, and that's what I'm working on.
And Angel H, you've made some really great points tonight. She said forgive and let it go, and I think that if I end on something, I'm going to end with the let it go because you can't forgive. but you have to let it go.
Let
All
go,
of that
let go.
remembering stuff, all of that, all of that remembering stuff, and you're storing that. It's almost like when people store stuff, they're using it. They store it so they can use it for a later purpose.
Right.
And that's the issue right there. My biggest pet peeve in life is when you say you forgave me and you continue to bring up what I did to you. You didn't truly forgive me, and that bothers me. Don't bring up what I keep doing. If I didn't do it to you again, if I didn't do it again, but if we just having a regular conversation, and K Mitch is notorious for saying stick to the topics at hand. So if you gonna forgive somebody, don't be talking about, as K Mitch would say, peanut butter and jelly, and you go out and say, well, remember when you cheated on me that time? Well, you're still with me. You said you forgave me. You decided to stay. And if you decided to do all of that, then don't bring that up, because we can't truly move forward. And the reason that I say that is because, one, it makes me feel like that you didn't forgive me. So now that puts me in a place to where I can move forward. Because now you've just opened up the fact that you're holding all this stuff against me. And we're supposed to be moving forward. And then for you, it's baggage. So you just got to remember that, like Angel H said, let it go. If you're going to forgive, let it go. Get to the place to where you truly can see this person again, to where you can walk across this person again, to where you can come in contact with this person again, and it's almost as if nothing ever happened again. And I'm not saying be their friend. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying be their friend. I'm not saying rekindle the relationship. I'm not saying let there be a big reconciliation. What I'm saying is I can see you and there's no awkwardness. I didn't, like, nothing made me feel a certain type of way. And once you get to that place, I think you've gotten to the place of true forgiveness. It's not an easy task.
It's not.
It's not going to be easy for you to do, but it's what you have to do, because you have to do it for yourself. Love yourself enough to let it go.
Exactly.
And that's, sometimes you have to put yourself, above everything else. Get to the place to where you love yourself enough.
You preaching now. You better take
Okay, that's my mic. Hold on, man.
Lola, tell
You can catch me on Instagram and Twitter.
Okay, K Mitch, where can the people find you?
K Mitch, go ahead.
Hey, y'all follow the girl K Mitch on Periscope, Twitter, IG, Pinterest, Facebook, YouTube. I am K Mitch.
And if you're looking for me, you all find me on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook. I'm on YouTube as well. You can catch all the shows we've ever done. You can catch them on YouTube as well. And you can find me at Live to Contribute. That's Live the number 2, Contribute. And just like always, y'all, this show was really feeds into this message, but we say this every week, but just like always, make sure you build someone up instead of tearing them down. And until next week, y'all have a good one. Thanks for joining, and make sure to tell somebody about the show. Y'all have a good one.
Thank you.